Hi, and welcome to our video tutorial on data normalization for database applications. In this video, we'll cover what data normalization is, why it matters, and how to design tables from scratch using a healthcare use case. So what exactly is data normalization? It's a process of organizing data in a database so that it reduces redundancy and improves data integrity. It typically involves breaking large tables into smaller related ones and defining relationships between them, as you can see in this construction safety reports example. Why is data normalization important? It eliminates redundancy, avoids storing the same piece of information in multiple places, it improves consistency, ensures data stays accurate and uniform, saves storage space, reduces unnecessary duplication, leading to more efficient use of storage, makes maintenance easier, updates, inserts, and deletes become simpler and less error prone, enhances query performance, structured relationships make it easier and faster to retrieve related data, and supports scalability. Organized data structures can handle larger and more complex data sets over time. So now let's go and see how we can set up our tables from scratch using a healthcare use case. For today's video, I will be using the Flex framework to build out the tables, but just keep in mind, even if you're using Bridge to set up your database and build your application, when it comes to database design, both Bridge and Flex use the same approach for building tables and defining relationships. So let's go ahead and open up this application that I created in advance. It's a healthcare application, and let's navigate directly to tables because tables are going to be the starting point of any app that you develop in Caspio. Also in advance, I've set up two tables. One is for doctors and one is for patients. And I did that by going into directories and creating one for my patients and one for the doctors. Depending on your use case, you might have one directory, you might have multiple directories. But in this use case, we want the patients to be able to set up appointments. We want doctors to be able to submit visits and vital signs. And you never want to mix patients and the doctors in the same table or the same directory. You want to keep that information separate. Let's quickly take a look at both of these two tables. They're very simple tables. My doctor's table contains basic doctor information. We have the user ID at the very top. That's the primary key. In every table that you create, you should always have a primary key to automatically assign a unique key to that specific user in the table. Because when you're making relationships, you want to use that ID in related tables so that you can associate data back and forth between tables. Another tip that I can give you when you're setting up your tables, don't worry about creating all of your fields right away. Just focus on the most important fields because you want to make sure you have the foundation set up correctly with your primary keys and foreign keys, and then at a later time, you can always come back and add or remove fields as needed. My second table, which is the patient's table, we also have a unique ID. We have the first name of the patient, last name, and email. Again, you can always come back to this table later and add your gender field, maybe medical history, insurance information, or anything else you want to collect for your patients. Now let's build out 4 additional tables. One for the appointments, visits, notes, and perhaps prescriptions. So for my third table, let's go with appointments. So you will need an appointment ID inside this table. And for your data type, I always like to choose GUID or GUID. It's a long secure ID. Then we want patient ID because you want to associate the appointment with the patient. Okay, because one patient can have many appointments. So now we get into setting up a foreign key that's going to link to the primary key from the patient's table. We also want doctor ID so that we know which doctor made the appointment. And then you might have other fields. So for example, appointment date, which you can set the data type to date time, and perhaps reason for appointment. And you might want to choose text 64,000 for long text. Again, as I mentioned, you can always come back to this table. When I build my tables initially, I only focus on the most important fields. Then I'll come back and modify my tables as needed. Let's call this one Flex, Appointments, Now for my fourth table, let's go with visits perhaps. So we need visit ID. So this becomes a primary key of this table. I once again select my data type. And then for visits, we want to tie that to the appointments. So if a patient has an appointment, we link that appointment to the visit. Okay, so let's go with the third field now, maybe visit date, and perhaps we can have diagnosis. Now you might elaborate on that. You might have additional fields here, for example, blood pressure reading, weight, height, temperature, pulse, depending on what type of information you're tracking for each one of your patients inside the visits table. For me, this is good enough. Visit of the date, change that to date of time. Just to keep things uniform, I'll add underscore for visit date. Let's save this table and let's call this flex visits. For my fifth table, let's go with notes. So note ID becomes a primary key of this table. And then we're going to have visit ID. And we also have doctor ID. Why? Because we want to link the visit to our notes, right? Because this is a one-to-many setup. One visit can have many notes submitted by what doctor. That's why we need to stamp the doctor's ID so that maybe the hospital administration can see eventually which doctor is leaving notes for what visit. In other words, it ties back to the appointment and ties back to the patient. And then you might have notes and dates submitted. So for notes, that can be text 64,000. And for dates submitted, you might even go with the timestamp to automatically stamp the date and time of each submission. So let's save this table now. Flex notes. And last but not least, let's have prescriptions. So we'll just say prescription ID. Once again, it becomes a primary key. So we'll see that. And then you have three different foreign keys. You have the visit ID. You have doctor ID. And we have patient ID. Right, so when you're prescribing something for your patient, you need to know for what patient you're prescribing that, what doctor made that prescription, and for what visit. And then finally, just have maybe medication name and perhaps dosage. And when you're done, click Save, and let's call this Flex Prescriptions. And we have a total of 6 tables for this application, where we have doctors that can log in eventually, have patients who are going to be able to log in. We can create appointments. We tie our visits back to our appointments, and then we can leave notes for all of our patients. And then we can also create a prescription for all of the patients and know and track who is doing what within the application. Now, if you want to see a visual schema of your database, you're going to click on the Relationships button. Click on App Relationships for this specific app, and then you can move all of your tables inside this window by clicking on the box to the left. You can move these tables however you want. It's entirely up to you how you read your database design. A lot of people like to work top to bottom. I myself like to work left to right. It's easier for me. We have our patients table. I always like to start with the user table on the left-hand side. That's just a personal preference. We have the patients, we have the doctors, and then let's say with the appointments, because I think that's the first thing that we're going to be able to do in our app, we want to be able to tie that back to the doctor ID. So all you're going to do is grab the doctor's ID, drag this line over to the other table, let go, and you're going to get this settings screen where you can make some adjustments. It shows you automatically this is a one-to-many setup where one doctor can create many appointments. If you want to display values from the parent table inside the child table and also on the reports, you can use the display value checkbox. You have the ability to enforce referential integrity. What that means is if you do enable this checkbox and now you try to delete that doctor from your application, it won't let you if that doctor has related entries in the appointments table. If you choose Cascade Delete, be very careful with that one because now if you delete the doctor and that doctor has related entries in the child table, it's going to delete all of those entries that are tied to that doctor ID. And then we have cascade update, which means if you make an update, let's say to the doctor's ID, and you have that doctor ID stamped multiple times in the child table, once you make that change will propagate throughout the entire child table. Okay? I myself usually just like to enforce referential integrity between my tables. Once you're done, you can click on create, and you're going to be able to see that line which indicates that one doctor is linked to many appointments. Next, we have patients. So we can tie this line from the patient ID to the patient ID in the appointments table. I will go ahead and enforce referential integrity and click on create. Then we have our visits table, which ties back to our appointments table. So drag this line over, let go, enforce, click on create. Then we have the notes table, which ties back to the visits table. Click on create. And then also, if you want to stamp the doctor ID at this point, you can. You can just move this table down a little bit. You can rearrange these tables and just drag the line from the doctor's table to the notes table and click on create. You'll be able to see how that line is created. And finally, we have the prescriptions table. You can place these tables anywhere you want. So for the visit, just drag the line over the prescriptions table, click create, and then you can drag the line for doctor ID and patient ID. And the doctor ID. And just by looking at the schema, eventually it starts to look like a giant spider web if you have a lot of tables. But it makes sense if you're looking at how schematics and how your tables are organized so that you understand, all right, so one appointment is linked to many visits. One visit is linked to prescriptions, also notes. Doctors and patients can leave notes. Doctors and patients also are linked to our appointments table and our prescriptions table so that you understand the flow and how everything is going to function later on. Also, this type of a setup is what data normalization is all about. You are basically splitting massive tables into smaller tables because there are a lot of benefits to it. But one of the biggest benefits is that it's scalable. So you can, in the future, if you need to expand upon your application, you can add more tables and link them to other tables. That's it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the content. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to our team or visit our knowledge base at howto.caspio.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.